and it showed in that first game. During the beginning, they got kind of smacked around in lane, but during the other parts, they believed in his arrows for the picks, and it worked out.
Glad to see him finding that confidence, sort of finding his comfort spot in this team and in the North American LCS. We'll have to see if Echo Fox can make this one a swift 2-0, or if FlyQuest is bringing us to game number 3. To start things off, FlyQuest is banning away both the big champions from Echo Fox in game number 1. LeBlanc and Graves taken out of the picture. Jace the final ban from FlyQuest. Echo Fox focusing a bit more on the tankier possibilities at Summoner's Rift, with Shen and Zach removed. Kinnan, their final ban.
Yeah, Galio, possibility of a first pick here, but no, they go for the Elise. They really just like that on Moon. Interesting that they would prioritize that so highly.
They want Moon to be on that capable playmaker.
Oh.
And here's something, okay. Now this is something that we've seen a lot of bans focused on recently, Zyrene, the shield comp. It's so strong if you get all the pieces of it assembled. It's like some sort of League of Legends Exodia.
Yeah.
If you put a hyper carry together with a bunch of shield spammers, it's just like you win the game. And having Karma and Ivern is big.
I will say, though, it's the Exodia. But right now, this is for the potential for Keith to be the head of Exodia on Echo Fox. That's something that people need to keep an eye on here, because he talked about his confidence. If his team is going to believe in him and give him all these shields, then he has to deliver, and it could be a great game for him. Could be a standout one.
One thing I want to point out is that the first half of the draft for FlyQuest this game is very similar, and by very similar, I mean the exact same thing that we saw in game number 1. Same 3 picks, the bottom lane and the jungle, while Echo Fox decides to pick up the Ashe for Keith as their final pick in the first half, solidifying that one. And now we move on to the bans. Cassiopeia, removed by Fox.
Yeah, FlyQuest, like you said, same 3 picks, still going for the pick. They would need a little bit more in the engage or surefire engage. If they're going to use Jhin that way, then that's okay. But now the Tom Kench ban for Echo Fox, they don't have that same combo, and they run a Karma mid. But the Ashe as well, you expect a hyper carry, but the Ashe can kind of fit that suit during the mid-late game, but does need multiple items to get there.
Right. He's needing time to scale. He's got to get to the point where he's hitting those big multiple item spikes, having those multipliers from the crit items. Once he does, he'll be very scary.
Now, that's this last ban here from FlyQuest. Orianna, so they don't have... I like that ban.
You got to respect that, because Orianna's so good in the Exodia comps.
Yep. Galio.
Galio's also very good.
I thought it would be first picked, and ugh.
Galio's sort of like a new Shen. Like, you used to run Shen in these comps because he shields and protects. Galio doesn't give you a health shield, but he gives you a damage resist shield.
Well, it's funny because Galio and Shen are like multiple pick ban champions. Shen is banned this game because he's so strong. Those are like top 2 S-tier top laners. Look at this. Fiora, I like the counter pick. FlyQuest are going to say, let's break up Exodia. Let's make sure it never happens. Discard a card. Get rid of that thing.
Make sure that they can't all be in the hand at once. That's the way to beat this. And Fiora, along with being an exceptional split pusher to begin with, her laning phase, which is supposed to be her weakness, is shored up very, very well by the current iteration of Dorian's shield. And she's a really good pick into Galio.
All right. We got a Lucian mid. Lucian mid for Froggen against the Kassadin of High. He said, you pick something that can't really CS if it's getting harassed. Time to smack around.
Lucian mid, here we go. This is going to be a good one, because that also means, should Keith not have a great game, you've still got a second AD carry that you can put those shields and that protection on. There's a fallback plan. There's insurance now purchased by Echo Fox in this game.
I guess now Galio's the head and they have 2 fists, so...
This is a weird-looking Exodia.
They got the Karma and the Ivern as the legs. You got the head as the Galio, and then you got the 2 fists.
It's a 2-headed Exodia with 1 leg.
I think you got 2 fists. The head's not doing damage.
But it had the best stats.
It brings it all together.
Okay, it brings it all together. Fair enough. Fair enough. Echo Fox, though, they've got a team composition that's very, very scary if they are allowed to work together. Ivern, though, does not exactly match up stylistically when I think Acadian.
No.
When Acadian comes to mind, I don't immediately think, that's an Ivern player.
I actually think the complete opposite.
Yeah, it's the opposite. This guy plays Graves. He plays aggressive champions. He plays fighters. He plays gankers. Ivern much more of a support.
Yeah, I would say, though, if you are trying to be the best team, Acadian is a competitive player. He would learn these things, not stylistically up his wheelhouse, so it means he might have had to put in a lot of work to make this synergize with the team,
right,
get it right. So definitely, like you said, we need to keep our eyes on him to see what this Ivern looks like in Acadian's hands.
It'll be an interesting one. We have seen other players in the past, players that don't seem to stylistically match up with Ivern, play the champion and not have fantastic performances on him.
Peanut, Inori.
Exactly. Players that you know for those aggressive champions playing on the Ivern, and you're like, I don't know about that one. Will Acadian fall prey to that trap, or will he show us that he's put in the time and the practice to make this different style of jungler work? That's the question that could determine the outcome of this game. Froggen running cleanse in the mid lane this time, by the way, so it's 2 teleports versus 1.
Yep. Also interesting that High has purchased a sweeper level 1. See what that's able to do for him here.
This is a little bit peculiar. I don't know if that's is that an accident, you think? Or
No, I don't think that's an accident, because you would just
tell it. Yeah, you would just change it.
Yeah, you would just let it auto buy as you leave. So this is intentional.
Are we gonna get some patented FlyQuest cheese somehow with a sweeper?
I don't know. Sometimes experience sweeping it out. Who knows? Who knows what they have up their sleeve?
It will be a rough lane for him, though. Even with the Dorian shield up against a Lucian, pre-level 6, Kassadin's not going to have too much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to get shoved in. That teleport will help him out, though. Does have a Dorian shield and 2 potions, so it'll help him sustain. One of the best things about Dorian's shield, you get another potion on top of it, and the fact that it just makes it so that losing lane's kind of neutral.
Fiora, another one of those champions, like I mentioned, one of her weaknesses is supposed to be, she's incredibly strong as the game scales. She's a hyper carry, but she has a bad laning phase. Dorian's shield bandages up a lot of weak laning phases.
She actually doesn't have too much of a weak laning phase against champions like Galio. She can really just actually kill him like level 2 if he's not good with the vitals and positioning. And we'll have to play a little bit more defensively, kind of wave clearing with the Q and playing back. But the Dorian shield makes it so like she really can't get killed in that lane, especially since she has ways to riposte both of the abilities that Galio has to lock her down, and they're very telegraphed. So if you can't riposte that, then you probably just missed your whole keyboard.
Echo Fox waiting for FlyQuest bottom lane to walk down into lane here, greeting them with some volleys and inner flames as Acadian counter jungles away that blue buff.
Yeah. Also important to note that this bottom side of the map, Wild Turtle Elimination, got experience on the wave, but we're kind of pushed out. They'll sustain up, though, because the Dorian shield did come through. And we'll see Moon actually does. This is a weird start for him, but look at that. Keith's here.
Goes for the flash, wants to be able to set up the cocoon. Keith trying to put on some fancy feet, does not get himself away from the cocoon, and that is first blood over to FlyQuest.
And now all you have to worry about is your topside jungle being gone. But guess what? It was already gone because the Ivern counter jungled you. And now let's see what happens here, because they lost the bottom lane. Acadian doesn't have smite yet. He's going to mark this camp. Nope, didn't get there in time to do it. He'll have to try to do it from the brush, but it's getting pulled away from him.
Good job by FlyQuest pulling that away, trying to prevent Acadian from marking it, but Acadian should get the mark off anyway.
Yeah, they had to go because Froggen has so much priority mid. Look at how far up he is in CS already, 12 up over the Kassadin.
I mean, when you can do that, 2 auto attacks into a piercing light for free, no response from High, that's what this lane's going to be.
This is such an interesting draft from FlyQuest. I don't think you can prepare for this, but we'll talk about that right afterwards. This route as well from Moon. He knew his top side was pretty much going to be gone because of Ivern, but then the auto attacks and his cocoon. His cocoons have been on point both games. Got to give him huge credit for that. He has been predicting a lot of abilities with them. But yeah, this draft from Echo Fox, I want to talk about it a little bit because this is so hard to predict because they're scrimming in-house, like we said. They're scrimming their sub-squad. You don't expect them to run Acadian on Ivern and run a double protection composition, let alone Lucian in the mid lane for Froggen, who's known for mages and late game scaling.
Ball's trying to make a rotation mid, but Fiora doesn't exactly have the most CC in the kit to set up any kind of a play. Kassadin either, pre-6 at least, can't get on top of you for that slow, so that's not going to be too successful. Instead, just alleviates some pressure.
Yeah, any pressure that you can get alleviated on your Kassadin, though, gets him some breathing room towards that level 6. High can push out this wave. He does have a cannon minion in this one, so it'll take him a little bit longer to push it. And Froggen will be back right in time with a Vamp Scepter only.
Not a fantastic buy for him, which is a relief for High.
Yep, Looper also shoved out the top side back to triple Doran's ring, and he gets to walk back, not use his teleport.
Deadly Flourish not finding its way onto gate to follow up. You talked in game number 1, Zyrene, about the stun into stun, the Jhin Zyra combo power. Didn't quite find its mark there.
Yeah, it hasn't really been finding its mark in this series at all. Keith, no flash from earlier. Got picked off. And we'll see High.
Too many minions for Froggen to fight in right now.
And look at High's build, just going for resistances right off the bat, making sure that every little bit of damage that Froggen does to him is negated, and then he'll have that regen from the shield. So Froggen, he's going to have to punish very hard, but High, the punish has to be much harder than before. And this also...
I like the itemization, though. I do like this choice. What's going to stop you is falling too far behind early, and High's making sure he minimizes that risk. Froggen, though, not afraid to play up, flex those muscles, and keep High away.
Yeah, he has a Vamp Scepter, so he can play like that. He can play pretty recklessly and just go for it. He also had a Cadian on his right side protecting him. And this right here, go to the bottom. Yep. Out-trade the Galio. And you can see, like, right there, even in CS, both of them didn't have to use their TP, but Balls hasn't backed yet. That's a Fiora with a Doran shield up against triple Doran's ring, winning that trade. The matchup definitely not in his favor. Look at this, Froggen with a culling.
Gets himself away. But not having that level 6 when your opponent does can be really rough.
Yeah, they're looking for Moon to come up and help him at least pick up some of this CS here underneath the turret. High, almost 6. Froggen out of mana too.
He'll be just fine. Trigger Seed will block a little bit of that damage. FlyQuest still trying to jump in on this one, but Lemon's going to be bound up by the Root Caller.
So what they're doing is they're giving High a better push / back, and they're sacrificing bottom for that. And they're trying to put pressure on Froggen because right now they need to keep both Echo Fox's carries down so that they can't get to that mid game as quickly. Whereas FlyQuest, Echo Fox trying to keep that Kassadin down, make sure he can't become this 80 carry slayer.
That is one thing about these Exodia comps, is if the carry falls behind, you're not very threatened.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of shields on a guy who does no damage, so who cares? Just kill the shielders, pick them apart piece by piece.
Exactly. You have to have big threats. And the Ashe and the Lucian, not what you would consider huge threats, but luckily for Echo Fox, they've drafted this into a composition that has no tank. Nobody on FlyQuest is really going to prioritize armor at all. High has done it in the early game to survive, but then really be like maybe Moon in the jungle. Then he loses that pressure.
The most tankiness you're likely going to see is a Ninja Tabby into a single armor. It's not going to be somebody that's stacking a Sunfire Cape into a Randuin into a Dead Man.
Yeah, and this is going to be such an interesting mid-game because Echo Fox's team wants to group up or maybe have Galio split a little bit or at least answer a split and then use his double globals to get in. But FlyQuest, 100% 1-3-1. Fiora, win whatever matchup. Just try to 1v1. League of Legends is a 1v1 game now. Put it onto Magma Chamber. Put yourself in Howling Abyss 1v1.
Rip Magma
Top lane, let's go. And I definitely think that that's what you want to do. Split up the map and you put Kassadin in a different side lane. Because then it's like, who's going to answer him? The Lucian? Well, then you can get engaged on your mid lane unit. And that could be an issue. But I definitely think pulling the team apart is what FlyQuest are going to try to look for.
It's what they've got to do. Balls not giving Looper any breathing room, exactly as he needs to be playing it. Looper, remember though, with his teleport and his ult together, he's got a way to pretty much get into any fight that he wants. And that ulti, people underestimate exactly how much damage resistance that gives the person that you're ulting. Galio makes that person incredibly hard to kill.
Yeah, the damage reduction in terms of the 3 ranks is 20, 30, and then 40%. And I believe it's 7% per 100 magic resistance that you've purchased. So Galio at level 16 gives just base 40% damage reduction to the person that he's using it on. And that's the amount of damage reduction that Exhaust gives to somebody. So literally, everybody hitting that person just got exhausted. That's how strong Galio is.
When you look at it that way, it is extreme damage reduction. Acadian mid lane now, hanging around, not going to find a whole lot, but look at what's under Froggen right now. Look at those double buffs. That's another one of the strengths of Ivern that sometimes goes unnoticed.
Good champ.
Ivern gets the buffs, everybody else gets the buffs. Why follow the rules when everybody can have a buff party?
Yeah, nice champ. But definitely think that this is good from Acadian so far, right? He's got the Sight Stone, which you're like, what? Why does he have a Sight Stone? He's just playing Ward for his team. He's a shield and warding bot. He's just trying to keep people safe so that they can pressure their lanes.
We talked about the supporting nature of the champ. Well, there you go.
Yeah, actually building like a support here. Not even go like rushing Redemption or Athenes or anything like that.
Yeah, a little bit surprised, honestly. Normally you'd see the Tracker's Knife and one of those bigger supportive items.
What is he going to get as his jungle item?
Maybe nothing. You just leave the Talisman there.
But it's cheaper to just get Tracker's Knife and then start going.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. I don't know. I'm not an Ivern picker.
Oh, well. I think it's interesting because it gives him more wards, gives him more health to kind of run around. But that is just really interesting because it delays his build towards those big support items, which should be one of the big advantages of Ivern is you get redemption faster than anybody else in the game because you have higher gold income and you can build it just first item.
Slight advantage for FlyQuest still. Just like last game, it's only the difference between First Blood and not in terms of the gold separating the teams. Farm close across the board, except in that mid lane role where a phenomenal advantage has been built up for Froggen just by the nature of the matchup. Yeah. Blade of the Ruined King will be his first attempted pickup here once he gets a little bit more money.
Froggen trying to punish hard. Here comes Moon. High Moon looking for a kill. Didn't do too much there.
Culling out, stops Moon from wanting to close in any further. Froggen gets himself away and just sort of shrugs the gank off.
Yeah, Froggen played towards his wards on the bottom side here. High though, and Moon just walking up again, making sure that he's safe. And this is just going to be a really fun game, I can tell, going forward, because I'm excited for when the teams start splitting, because FlyQuest 101-3-1, but they also want to collapse and have good team fights with flanks with Fiora and Kassadin. So it's going to become this no-tank composition from FlyQuest, disengaging and having their frontliners, which are like Fiora, Kassadin, dive, while Echo Fox are trying to peel every which way and keep Froggen and Keith safe. I think this is going to be
two very different dynamics.
It's going to be very challenging for both teams because FlyQuest have to avoid like a Galio taunt and deal enough damage and avoid the CC of Echo Fox, while Echo Fox have to play around those big carries of FlyQuest that are going to scale up and eventually become these 1v1 champions that'll beat anybody on the map.
And I like asymmetric games of League of Legends like that. The way I look at it, when you have a game, you're going to either have symmetric team comps or asymmetric team comps. Symmetric team comp, you got two guys that just want to, like two groups of guys that just want to 5v5 all day long. You both got the same goal. Yeah, two death ball comps. Asymmetric team fight, asymmetric game, you've got something like this. You've got one team that wants to fight as a group, wants to fight as a 5-man unit, the other one trying to play that flanking, that split pushing style. And that means you get to see a contest of who made the other play their game. And that's really fun to watch.
Yeah, it depends on the pressure in the early game and what choices you make during the mid game too, but those are always so much fun. That's what I like. That's my analyst stuff. That's the stuff I love.
Oh, there we go. Getting into the analyst desk.
That's my jam. Once again,
now, FlyQuest, though, you got to keep in mind what happened last game, because things looked good at the start, and then the Baron. Expect to see FlyQuest always thinking about that this game, not letting that get snuck away from him again. If it does, I would be thoroughly surprised. Moon getting a little damage down onto Acadian here. Trigger Seed will pop.
Yep. And just checking in on items, Acadian has now gone towards the redemption. Mobility boots to run around the map faster. I definitely think that Echo Fox want this Mountain Drake. You don't want the Fiora to have it so that you can kill turrets faster. You want your double ADs to have it so you can group up with your Ivern in mid lane and just shoot this turret down.
And with two split bursters versus double ADs, Mountain Drake's very good as Froggen going to be finding himself in between three. Elimination going to be taken down. Gate grabs the kill. Looper jumping in to make sure that they can't just rout the rest of Echo Fox as now they roam towards bottom. Flash away from Turtle to dodge the arrow. Good reaction on that one. The arrow is coming from a long way away, so not too hard to make sure you're to safety in time, but Echo Fox get the better of that one.
Yeah, Echo Fox get that kill. Does go over, though, to Gate on the Karma. You'd want it on Froggen to have a little bit more advantage in that mid lane because you know that High is going to start scaling up. He's going for the Rod of Ages. Possible dive here on Wild Turtle. You know his flash is down.
Turtle's not in the best situation, but Moon has made his way into the fight. Turtle still staying alive for now, and the turnaround. Looper goes in, gets himself the kill. Justice Punch out, but balls will cut him to pieces. He tries to block the final vital, but it's not even required. Moon's just walking around saying, you take this one, the gold's better on you. 2 dead for Fox, 1 for FlyQuest. They make that play theirs.
Yeah, mid lane though, Froggen trying to get the pressure, and High's gonna fight him.
Culling comes out, but the last turret shot will almost punish Froggen.
Whoa, just the angle on that Culling could have been a little different, may have been the difference there. And this is the race for first turret. FlyQuest going to get it down bottom. A great defense from High and mid.
High saving that mid lane turret means much extra gold going the way of his team as they grab turret first blood and take a 2K lead.
Yeah, very much needed for them too, because they're the ones who wait for that scaling. This was really interesting because Daisy's diving the turret, and then they teleport to Daisy. So Wild Turtle's not getting hit anymore, knocked up or anything like that. And then Looper comes through, finishes the kill, but then the Fiora's already there. And this is just the counter matchup. We talk about 40% damage reduction, 20, 30, doesn't matter. True damage from the vitals.
We talked about playing by the rules with Ivern buffs.
Yeah.
True damage doesn't play by the damage reduction rules either. So a lot of rule breaking going on, but sometimes that's what you need to win one of these games, win some of these fights.
And this is big because this is Balls on Fiora. Right, Balls, we talk about carry performances from him, and he hasn't had too many. The Renekton, the Darius here and there. The Fiora ones, few and far between from this guy. And now he has the potential to carry in a matchup that is abysmal for the Galio. He can't match the split push. He can wave clear and cry under his turret. That's pretty much what he'll do. But then he's just got so much ability to be outplayed, and the Fiora just rips him apart.
Especially now that she's got Ravenous Hydra. That lifesteal, that AoE push potential, Galio is out of options.
Yeah, and one of the great things now about Fiora, who I think is actually an S-tier top laner, or the S-tier top laner next to Kennen in terms of push potential and like flip pushing, is that Death's Dance is such a good item on her, second, third item, because it reduces the damage, gives you more time to get those vitals off, has CDR, so you aren't missing out too much on not going Black Cleaver too early. Ooh, so much. Woohoo!
All right, Timber, he said it himself. Acadian gets cut down. 4 kills now to FlyQuest. They've got multiple bodies mid lane, going to be pushing on to this tier 1.
Yeah, 4 kills for FlyQuest, but still 100% kill participation for Moon, who did work in the early game with that really interesting level 1 route.
And what did we say, Zyrene? The battle of the Brodies. Both junglers capable of starting that snowball and getting the team rolling. Acadian did it in game number 1. Moon is doing it now in game number 2.
And now he's also doing the Rift Herald. Top lane as well. You see High up there. Split push is online. Balls beats Looper in that 1v1. High beats anybody else you put up against him right now. Hit level 11. Rank 2 ultimate power spike for Kassadin.
Rod of Age is built, but not stacked yet, so he'll need about another 10 minutes before that one comes fully online. It was a little bit slow because of the armband, but here's the catch.
Yep, right over the wall there. Oh, just gets obliterated. Didn't even need that other shot there. So much damage, and look at that. Multiple penetration items from Moon here. FlyQuest aren't playing the whole, all right, let's sustain through and like try to match your tankiness. It's like, no, kill them. Let's get in there. Let's blow up these carries. Let's blow up their supports and make sure that they can beat them in a team fight.
High, Moon, and Lemon desperately trying to save this tier 1 turret. They somehow do it for now, but that thing has 1 hit remaining. Next person to just walk up and give it a little love tap is going to take that down. Echo Fox really want that gold to try to close this gap a little bit. 3,000 for FlyQuest over them. 17 minutes into the match. Still no Drakes taken. Still that first Mountain Drake sitting there.
It's because everybody's trying to use their bottom lane to go pressure mid and play around mid, and nobody's really getting too much there. They're just trying to get that turret from Echo Fox's side and get that one away from High so he can't sit underneath it and feel safe. But FlyQuest has been able to keep it safe, and now High gets to avoid this matchup, go top, pick up a lot of CS for himself, and he is just in a really good spot to scale.
Moon still has Eye of the Herald as well. We want to keep an eye on exactly where and when FlyQuest decides to use it, but also remember that it must be used within 4 minutes of picking it up. You can't just sit on it forever and wait for the perfect moment. You either create that moment or randomly toss him down a lane when he's about to expire.
Oh, Spina's tossed down a lane.
Yeah, tossed down the lane. Elimination going to be tossed in the grave if he's not careful. Wild Turtle keeping him alive with the heal. That's a teammate. Echo Fox goes for that last auto attack and makes a liar out of me. It took 2 autos instead of 1, but that's what backdoor bonus will do to you.
Exactly. Now it looks like the Mountain Drake is what they have in their sights here.
Mountain Drake for Echo Fox. And we mentioned earlier, one team has 2 AD carries, one team has 2 split pushers. Either way you slice it, both of them want these Mountain Drakes. Very effective.
Yeah, you can see, speaking of Mountain Drakes fly, when you see Balls on that top turret, really wants to take that thing down. If he takes that down, he does have potential to just chase down a long lane against Looper, and it's so close to going down on that top side too.
And once he gets the haste from his ultimate, putting that onto Looper, there's no way Looper's getting away, Justice Punch or not.
Yeah, and I love the Ninja Tabi buy as well, because what's going to kill him in this team is just going to be the auto attacks of both AD carries. So you really do kind of get away with murder against this team by buying that item. Wild Turtle's even done it himself.
And it's not like the Galio or the Ivern or the Karma is going to pose a significant damage threat to a Fiora with lifesteal. The lifesteal alone is enough tankability to survive those low damage outputs.
Yeah, and then mention that her vitals give her even more. And look at this, Moon. He's actually swept out this top side, sees people on the bot/mid. They're going top, playing off of balls here. And his push is he'll get chunked to it.
Looper will retreat and the turret will fall. Echo Fox loses their tier 2 in the top lane as FlyQuest make a good use of the Herald. Will likely just be a single turret, but at least it's a tier 2.
Exactly. Single turret here top, but we'll see. They'll get another charge on that mid lane if he escorts it in. Oh, yep. Important to note, though, that the Rift Herald, in terms of what the Rift Herald does in damage, it does 25% of its current HP to the turret when it charges, and it sacrifices its HP too. But hold on, 100% of his HP. All right, get cold.
Just gunning him down there in the mid lane. Froggen finally gets his first kill of the match, and it's on to Elimination. Throwback to game number 1.
Yeah, Froggen's like, I don't care about your educational stuff. Get out of here. Just going for the kills. But that's exactly what they need too. This Lucian will pick up the Black Cleaver, and then you'll be able to actually just deal a lot of damage. Pretty much everybody on FlyQuest and have some survivability, but I definitely feel like this isn't the same type of hyper carry that we're used to seeing with these types of composition. They went for lane bully. It worked out in the early game. He is 70 CS up, but is that enough against the Kassadin that'll hit level 16 pretty soon?
And also has an Hourglass now completed, along with the Rod of Ages that he had. This Kassadin's going to become scary very, very quickly. Once you get to late game, it doesn't matter how much he was bopping you in the early game in the laning phase. It just matters if he one-shots you.
Nope, look for this engage here.
Curtain call opened up. Acadian the target yet again. Redemption used. Daisy soaking the last shot. Vines are going to be keeping her locked up as Keith will continue pushing out the wave. 171 on his farm compared to the 196 of Turtle. Turtle not having the phenomenal start he did last time. However, he's still got himself a 25 CS lead. He's got the Death's Dance. Things aren't looking bad for him.
Yep. It's just this mid lane high trying to recover from it, but he's gotten a lot of split push CS. Froggen's going to try to chase him down here, but it's a Kassadin. We'll see. Black Cleaver completed, so trying to turn it a little.
Jumps back in there.
Can't just let him, bully you around.
No, you got to make a point. Let him know how it works.
Kind of sounds like something High would say. You can't just let him bully you.
Yeah. You got to go in there. Just give him a taste of things to come here at 3 levels or so.
Exactly. Once you hit that level 16 and you get your Rift Walk on that even lower cooldown, just constantly using it. He'll need some CDR to back it up. He does have 10% from the Zhonya's Hourglass. And then looking at his runes, he actually has a bit in there as well. Scaling, has 7% now. So he just needs
it'll likely scale
more.
up to 10 at the end, meaning 20%, like you just said, will do it to take him to that 40% cap. Heading back towards the top side, Froggen still waiting. Little bit of damage coming out. You can see, though, it's really not doing that much to him, and Froggen can retaliate rather effectively. Culling available. High tries to get a little too crazy here, but speaking of going crazy, Balls just is not worried at all about Looper. Just auto-attacking this, a nice riposte to block the Justice Punch, and now a grand challenge is issued. The Vitals will be popped. The heal comes out. Balls will not go all the way in on this one, but he scares Looper away and again asserts his control over the split push situation.
Oh, Wild Turtle
gonna be stunned up, might just be taken down. The damage is not enough for now, but it will burn him away. Gate grabbing the kill, Acadian in retreat, Culling coming down, Lemon over the wall, High into the mid lane. He'll try to do something, but he just gets exploded. Froggen now retreating. There comes your Galio ulti, keeping him safe. The damage reduction comes in clutch to keep Froggen alive.
Yeah, everybody on Echo Fox stays up, and they trade 0 for 2. Wouldn't even call that a trade. They just robbed him. And that was right next to Baron as well. If they didn't get all that damage off, that could potentially be one for Echo Fox there. But Wild Turtle walked up, face check, gets out, but he's burning down there from both the Death Dance and the Ignite from Gate. But then Acadian is just focused high, rooted up here, but then the taunt from Looper afterwards is what gets him and keeps him in place. They can catch the Kassadin out with that after the Zhonya's. And then kept Froggen safe. Exactly. Great call out there on that. And this is live.
Here we go again. Balls this time going to be the one who's a little bit too far forward. Remember that as a Fiora, you are exceptional in a 1 versus 1. You can riposte the guy, you can take him down, but if you find yourself in a 1v5...
Yeah, I feel like he split the map here. Like, just look at what he's going for. It's potentially Bloodthirster / Death's Dance. I think the Death's Dance is such a good purchase on Fiora to put that damage on, lay away, and you're just like, all right, he'll come back later to haunt me, but you just heal through
You're
it
healing
all.
the whole
you
time.
heal so much off of it, and it has great synergy with Ravenous Hydra. The physical damage you deal from Ravenous Hydra heals you as well, but hold on. Lemon.
Stuns, damage, Elimination brought down. Balls now finding himself caught between a rock and a hard place, and an entire Echo Fox team. Fed Fiora or not, it's very, very difficult to get away from these kinds of situations, but it looks like he just might pull it off. Froggen wanting to chase him down. Culling comes out, and he is out of there. FlyQuest lose 2, and the call might just be for Baron.
Yeah, 3-0-1 for Froggen, and most of those are off of culling kills. He's been doing some work on this Lucian, looking for a pick here. There's
Moon
the
walks
Galio.
a little bit too close. Turtle and High hanging around nearby, but Moon is still going to be taken down. Now the taunts come out. High is trying to escape. Turtle will not. The damage from Keith will find the kill. High is on the run, but this is a resounding Echo Fox victory.
And Echo Fox will now turn on the Baron. They've been playing from behind in terms of map pressure and in terms of gold for the past 10 minutes. This is going to be the comeback for them right here off of 2 fights.
Game number 1. It went the way of FlyQuest until Echo Fox took a Baron.
Yep.
Game number 2, it went the way of FlyQuest until Echo Fox took a fight that gave them a Baron.
Yep.
And now Froggen shows up to the Infernal Drake pit, says, thanks for the leash, I'll take that.
If they can get the Infernal Drake on these 280 carries, plus that, gonna go.
He gets it anyway, and High ends up jumping into the pit, but Elimination there in time to keep him protected.
Oh.
High will grab the shutdown thanks to the support from his support, but the Infernal Drake goes the way of Echo Fox.
Yep, Froggen picks that one up, doing work for his team. High, this was a great setup here because they are living in the jungle. The catch on Elimination is not expecting them to be there. This was well played from Looper. The way to outplay the Fiora as Galio, you don't have many options, but what you do is you Justice Punch, and if she uses Riposte, you are immediately holding down taunt. You can channel your Durand, your W, and it goes through CC. You keep channeling it up, and then she can't riposte both. So she'll riposte the Justice Punch and return that stun. You get stunned, but then you taunt her immediately afterwards.
And then Moon just gets too close to that brush.
Yeah, and then Looper again, great taunt there to lock up 2 and to get them a kill onto Wild Turtle.
Now Echo Fox with a 9-5 lead. They've got Baron, however, their lack of turrets still puts them at a gold deficit. That's what they need to use this Baron buff for. That is the weakness they need to shore up.
Exactly. This mid turret, though, still standing for Echo Fox. They still have the central part of the map in control. It's these side lanes that just keep getting shoved in by both the Kassadin and the Fiora. And I feel like those team fights, you shouldn't be taking those as FlyQuest. You don't have the level 16 Kassadin. He doesn't have the CDR he needs to reset. He was using the Zhonya's to kind of cover that area where he just Rift Walks in, Zhonya's, then you'll have Rift Walk again and cover that gap. But also, you should just play to the side lanes. FlyQuest are way better in a 1-3-1.
Balls at the enemy inhibitor turret. Echo Fox struggling to find an answer for this. Taunt onto the Fiora, more damage coming out. Meanwhile, Echo Fox in the mid lane taking down the tier 2 with Daisy. Ivern, not only is he effective at keeping his allies alive, he's effective at taking enemy turrets using Daisy to tank for it. Arrow finds its way out onto Moon, who's going to be soaking a lot of damage there from Froggen. Daisy being burned away, turret going to be dropping now rapidly as well. Echo Fox has broken the mid lane inhibitor turret. Now they're going to be looking for inhibitor itself. Froggen turning back onto Wild Turtle, who pops the heal for both himself and Lemon. High is way too low.
Keith got him.
And Keith, the confidence to go for that. That's what I'm talking about. They grabbed the enemy mid laner, the mid lane inhibitor as well. And now Echo Fox have found themselves a spot to regain control of the map, even up these turrets, and consume everything that FlyQuest has worked for.
And what happened here is they didn't back. They're running towards bottom to catch balls because he was all the way up at that turret, and Galio's been chasing him down. Looper's been looking for him. He's trying to TP away. There's no CC here. Galio's going to go in. Can he get him?
Galio trying to taunted up. Balls is done, and Echo Fox find their pick. Now the push will continue in the bottom lane. That tier 1 is free money, Zyrene.
That snap cast of the Shield of Durand from Looper to just interrupt it. Didn't hit the Justice Punch. Didn't need it. Just the gap closed there. And that's going to be another turret going their way. Echo Fox in the lead. That Mountain Drake helped them in momentum, helped them with the push. And FlyQuest, they're going to start racing them.
FlyQuest trying to say, okay, we're going to race you guys mid lane, taking down tier 1s for tier 1s, T2s for T2s, but FlyQuest also has to push against super minions.
Yeah.
FlyQuest, this is not a race that you want to take, as Echo Fox has 280 carries. They have a Mountain Drake. They take down the tier 2. Now they're heading for inhibitor turret number 2 for Echo Fox, and FlyQuest has to stop this.
And this is FlyQuest is saying we have to get something back for this to keep up, because I definitely think that the wave clear from FlyQuest with this composition sucks. It usually does when you have a Kassadin and a Jhin. You don't have like a Sivir, you don't have a wave clear mage mid, so they're just trading turrets and saying that's what we have to get. You'll get 1,000 gold, we'll get 1,000 gold. You get 2,000, we get 1,000, instead of just going for you get 2,000 or maybe 1,000, and then we have to sit here and wave clear. We're trading for wave pressure, and I think that's appropriate here because they don't stand a chance in a wave clear situation.
Problem for them is now they're down 2 inhibs, which typically puts you in one of those real bad situations where there's free pressure in 2 lanes and your opponents decide to push the 3rd.
Yeah.
Echo Fox is sitting in a very pretty spot now. Little over 1,000 gold for their advantage. I mean, the gold difference itself doesn't seem that big, but when you've got all the extra map pressure, when you've got those 2 lanes of super minions, when you've got the current momentum of the game behind you like this.
Yeah, and what the super minions will do here is pretty much just slow down balls from getting that bottom inhib and give enough time for Echo Fox to shove top, potentially get these turrets all the way down to that inhibitor.
And even if you get bottom inhib now as FlyQuest, you're just evening things up. Previously, that would have been a massive advantage to have, but now they just need it to try to staunch this bleeding. Looper jumping in, zoning FlyQuest away. Echo Fox just demolishing these first couple of turrets, going to be heading for number 3. The final inhibitor turret standing on the FlyQuest side, and Echo Fox will look to change that rapidly. Daisy tanking up the turret, going to be that meat shield that this team needs to burn this one down, just bulldoze it away. They've found their mark. Inhibitor turret falls on the bottom lane. Meanwhile, for Echo Fox, Fiora wants to take this inhib. Looks like she should get away with finding it. Fox will retreat, only finding the turret, not the inhib itself. So, FlyQuest get the better of that trade.
Yep, FlyQuest.
Well, if you include the first 2 turrets, they don't. But if you're just looking at the inhibitor in an isolated situation, FlyQuest got the better part.
Depends on who gets this Infernal Drake. And also, this Infernal Drake, yeah, it looks like a better setup for Echo Fox, to be honest. But FlyQuest has to blow it up. Echo Fox looked like they warded up the Baron and then they backed. So they're actually going to be delayed here. And yeah, they're going to hand off the blue as well. So this one goes over to FlyQuest. So Captain Flowers, you were right all along.
Yep, FlyQuest got the better play. Even though I was totally overlooking those first 2 turrets, we're going to pretend like it was intentional.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares because they got the best kind of Drake in the game, the one that makes you kill guys faster.
Exactly. But the Baron right now is the big thing because this is up in 20 seconds. Set up for Echo Fox 100% with the Scuttle Crab. They have complete control of the area. There's going to be some face checking and blue trinkets coming down in just a moment here. Does FlyQuest have to check this? How close is High to level 16?
Trying to get himself away. Not going to dodge the arrow. Calamity and disaster for FlyQuest, losing their mid laner for the next 45 seconds, and Echo Fox is at the door. They're not looking to knock. They're not looking for a polite visit. They want to just burn this sucker down as Turtle's going to be jumped on. Froggen bursting Elimination away. The exhaust is not enough to keep Lemon alive as Echo Fox has made their way onto the Nexus turrets. FlyQuest has lost 3, only Turtle and Balls remain. The minion wave is here from the top side, and Fox will look to put the final nails in FlyQuest's coffin. Balls running away, no way to fight this 1 versus 5. Turtle is stuck in the fountain as Nexus turret number 1 is taken down. Looper incredibly low, having to hide behind allies away from that curtain call.
They've stopped him. They're not going to be able to take this just now. High comes up right now. Ball's able to hold this off, and that inhibitor in mid respawn. The bottom one is very close to respawning as well.
The defense holds for FlyQuest. When things looked dire, they were able to stop what looked inevitable. And Echo Fox now retaking that mid lane inhibitor, going to look to retake the bottom inhibitor as well, secure that 3 inhib state for the next few minutes. Won't even need to do that just yet, instead going back to the Nexus.
Froggen is just skirting around these fights, playing out of his mind.
Froggen is so strong, he's so mobile.
Oh, he's down.
Elimination is there and barely surviving. He is not Froggen taken out. Ball's going to be running away. Lemon as well. FlyQuest have managed to find one big kill, but now they've somehow got to retreat and not lose everything here. Turtle eating multiple arrows. Keys grabbing the kill onto High. A double kill, though, going the way of this AD carry.
Balls is so
forced to retreat. Gate drops. Looper and Keith alive. Nexus down to 1/4 HP. Looper jumping right back in the fight. Buying Keith some time, and FlyQuest holds.
FlyQuest barely hold on. That Nexus 500 HP.
There was so much in that fight happening all at once.
That was a juggle. That was Echo Fox going between, do we kill this guy? Do we kill the Nexus? And they didn't kill Balls at the end there. He was sitting right outside of his fountain, almost dead. And that's going to be a Baron pickup too here. Depends on if somebody can get there in time, but I don't think so. They have so much damage from Balls with all of this AD built.
Only Froggen alive right now. Everybody else will still take a little bit longer to spawn. This should be FlyQuest Baron. However, they've only got the shambles of a base to fall back on. A Nexus with no HP, one inhibitor.
Yeah, I will tell you about shambles of a base though, but not in gold leads. FlyQuest, if they get this, they'll be able to take it. They have the gold lead now. FlyQuest back in the driver's seat with the scaling comp. Level 18 for Balls, level 16 finally for High. And he's got himself 29% cooldown reduction. Rift Walk now, 1.4 second cooldown. So much damage will come out of him. And we're seeing these item completions. Guardian Angel for Fiora, for Balls in the top lane.
Problem is, even with Baron, you've got 2 inhibs down, you've got an open Nexus with low HP. You can't do a whole lot. You've still got to be on the defensive, just using this to turtle up.
Yeah, but it saves you from having the game end, and you can get another fight when you're hyper-powered like this with FlyQuest's comp. I think it's totally fine, and they're going to feel pretty good about it. The game's not over till that Nexus drops. That's 500 true. HP. FlyQuest still have fight in them.
FlyQuest somehow still holding on. Death grip on this game. Can take it from my cold, dead hands is what they say to Echo Fox, who now marches down this bottom lane to try to make it a 3-inhib game once again.
Oh,
There's
man.
2 objectives left of this map they can take, and one of them ends the game.
Acadian even has a Mikhail's Crucible to try and to stop some of that CC that'll come through, a route onto Frog and keep him safe. Has a Haunting Guise, which is a little odd. But Ardent Sensor is covered by Karma, covered by Gate.
Mantra inspires and try to keep Echo Fox topped off. Super Minions now marching down from the top and middle lanes, giving Keith focus firing time on this bottom inhibitor, and that's a 3-inhib game, Irene. The pressure is on.
Yeah, this is a naked Nexus. They're going to try to go for the middle wave here against those Baron minions. And you can see Echo Fox all together. Nobody wants to be split. Looper, they're going to try to force him.
So low as Balls jumps into the fight. Keith's going to be taken down. He's got no way out. High using the Zonias, but if he falls, it could be disastrous. Froggen going to be knocked up into the air. High still alive. Deadly flourish out on negated. He's down as well. Acadia 2. FlyQuest holding. Looper trying to escape with a heroic exit. It gets him away for now, but Moon, Balls, and Lemon all in hot pursuit. Froggen trying to kite back as well. Balls jumping into the fight. The taunt finds its way on the side. The damage, the burst. And Froggen will find the outplay, but Looper is quickly taken out by that 4th shot. High jumping in. Knock, knock, who's there? It's revenge for lane phase. High jumps on top, and it's a double kill for Turtle.
And that's a wide open map. They stop Echo Fox again from winning the game. That team fight is super intense. I told you at the start, I wait for this game.
This is gonna be a good game.
Because these team fights are gonna be so damn entertaining because the way that each team has to play them. High and Balls dive in. Balls gets his GA to get popped, and he gets out at the same time, so he's safe on the respawn. And High barely gets away after his Zonias. And they almost kill Looper. This Galio is paper to them at the get-go. Watch this. When your front line has to just book it, you're like, this team fight's over, man. And then they jump onto Keith, blow him up, and then High doesn't drop. Balls gets right out of range. If he is closer, they can't guard his body, and Froggen would have been able to pick that up on the respawn. But then he goes top to get a whole bunch of HP back. and then that deadly flourish root and pick up.
FlyQuest went from having 2 opposing players hammering on their Nexus to getting a Baron to now getting an Elder Drake. FlyQuest has done what needed to be done. They had to force that fight right there, too. If they let that fight happen any closer to their Nexus, it could have just been run down.
Exactly. I actually thought that might have been a run it down mid Nexus rush there from Echo Fox. They got the bottom inhib and they wanted the minions to help push it in, but they didn't want to risk their damage versus the Nexus HP versus the damage of FlyQuest. So they didn't want to take that gamble. But I definitely think FlyQuest are now in the driver's seat. Even though their base was in shambles, 2 inhibitors have respawned. The bottom one's the only one they have to worry about. They have the Elder Dragon, and they have the scaling composition. The scaling is on. Moon?
Arrow won't find Moon, but now they flash forward. They found him. The root, the damage, the focus fire. Moon is down. Froggen soaks the damage, but he's not going to be popping just yet. Looper destroyed. It's 1 for 1. As the curtain call opens up, Echo Fox having expended resources for these kills. The 4th shot will miss thanks to the flash from Gate.
And this is to herd them all up so that balls can go bottom. You can shove mid. And now High will back with teleport coming off a cooldown literally right now. Clear out bottom wave so there isn't pressure on him. And now FlyQuest have reclaimed the whole map with the Elder Dragon too.
If FlyQuest can continue this momentum, they still may be able to find victory yet in this match. Riposte used, but the damage continuing to be poured out. Gate and Keith trying to keep themselves alive, getting back now. Turtle grabbing the credit onto that inhibitor there in the bottom lane. FlyQuest in control, Irene.
Yeah. Like I said, this is just going to get worse for Echo Fox. If they didn't end the game there, it's not going to get any easier. It's going to get much harder. Fiora doesn't give a damn about your top laner being a tank. She doesn't build any of those wussy tank items anymore.
This is late game Fiora. This is the one that's popping you for so much per vital.
Like, remember back in the day, we changed how much damage the vital does based on how much AD you have. That ratio got changed. Fiora used to just build Ravenous Hydra Black Cleaver, then Spirit Visage, stuff like that. Every item she has, except for QSS, has AD on it.
That's going to have AD momentarily when it evolves into a Scimitar.
The Guardian Angel has it. The Death's Dance has way more than it did before, and you didn't even purchase that item in the first place. She shreds tanks, especially better than she did before.
Her passive does so much damage, too, when you have that much AD with how much it scales. The vital procs are just deleting anybody they happen to hit. And when you can put 4 vitals onto Looper like that, he's just not a frontline anymore. It doesn't matter what kind of itemization he has.
Yeah, she does 64% of their max health when she gets all 4. But hold on.
Galio ultimate trying to keep Keith safe. Looper's going to eat that 4th Jhin shot. FlyQuest with the inside track here on the mid lane, zoning Echo Fox away. Final inhibitor has respawned on the side of FlyQuest. They're not even staring down the barrel of extra map pressure anymore. Froggen walking a little bit too close. Keith and Froggen right next to each other. Health bar's somewhat compromised. Daisy's into the fight now too. Ball's gonna be dueling that for now.
Run it down
Echo Fox is running towards the base, but they have to kill an inhibitor as well. While Turtle running a bit too close, taunted up, brought down. G's still there.
In the game.
Looper is still trying to hold this line. Froggen will go for the end of the game. Echo Fox trying to end. The Nexus has regenerated. They're going for that backline blitz. And Echo Fox find the win.
They are taking us to game 3. 2, sorry.
That's it.
I can't even
Game's
think.
over.
That was insane.
I cannot believe that they just found that opportunity for a victory when it looked like for sure they would not be able to hold on against the scaling of FlyQuest.
That just blew my mind. I am so sorry about that, because that was incredible. Because FlyQuest had all of the options, but they got juked in mid lane, and it got completely wrapped around.
This week on The Breakdown with Irene, that play, that was the exact kind of thing that you remember for a long time. The team seems to be in control. You get the Nexus down to nothing. Then your opponents swing back and they bite back with fury. It looks like you're done. And then this completely off-the-wall call to rush the Nexus through the inhib. Absolutely crazy and absolutely worth it.
Yeah, our first 2-0 as well. Yesterday was all 2-1s, comebacks, etc. But this game, this match had it all. Both teams had opportunities to win these games. And those mid games in the first game, and now was this late game decision making. Echo Fox were known for screwing up in the mid and late game, but having this great early game. This is a promising start to their split.
What an ending to a game. For the inside story, though, we're going to look a little bit deeper at what's happening with this, because we talk about everything looking bad for Echo Fox towards the end, right? And I was honestly surprised with the way that this game looked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm calling out game 3, like, what?
Yeah. We're both thinking game 3 as it happens, because when you get to the Nexus and then your opponents take a Baron and then a team fight ace and then an Elder Drake and then another team fight and then your inhibitor.
And like, it feels like the team fighting comp can't team fight anymore. And that's exactly what Echo Fox did. They said, we can't team fight them. Let's just go straight for it. I thought it was the call they were going to make initially when they went for that one team fight in mid. I thought that they were going to go straight for it because that Nexus is so easy to kill for your carries, and they just pulled the trigger on it. That was decisive shot calling. That was Froggen at the helm. That guy put up a huge performance, was able to flame Horizon very early on, 100 CS up over his lane opponent. And even though they were getting pushed and pulled across the map, they still grouped up and caused more pressure, and that was huge. Those late game calls is what it was all about.
And the thing that impressed me the most is you looked at it and you could see that FlyQuest had the inside track to the Echo Fox mid lane, but Echo Fox says, yeah, you've got the inside track to our base. You know what? You can have the thing. We don't even want it anymore. We want yours.
Exactly.
And as soon as FlyQuest stepped up, Echo Fox loops behind. They get there faster, and FlyQuest goes, wait a second.
Pull them.
They
for a
got
looper.
to immediately run back, and it was just absolutely bananas. But
great.
for more on the game, we're going to go ahead and check in with Riv and Fox's man in the mid lane.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great cast on the day. I am joined by Echo Fox's Froggen after they took down FlyQuest, the 4th place spring finishing team. Got to feel good, but how's it feel just to be back on the stage, Froggen?
It feels great. I'm just having a lot of fun up here, so can't complain.
It seemed like it. Even in the strenuous moments, the calls didn't seem to get too crazy up here. It was very calm and collected. What were some of those calls? Because that last game seemed a little back and forth towards the end.
I can't really say it was calm and collected, but there was some calls. There was some listening. It was great.
And what are the goals of Echo Fox coming into this split? There's been a few splits for you guys to ramp up where you guys can find a position. And now what is Echo Fox going to be able to do here in the summer?
I think we're going to come into these games and just really calm down, enjoy it. Like, we're basically just playing League of Legends for a living, you know? Like, we're going to come in, enjoy it, do our best. Every single day in the practice, we're going to do our best, you know, try to improve all the time, and then just go up and show it on stage.
Well, it seems like an absolutely amazing attitude. You do have one final game to end the week out tomorrow versus TL. They did have a loss today. Are you going to give them another one tomorrow?
I mean, hopefully. I mean, we'll try to give them a loss, but we'll see what we have up our sleeve.
All right. Do you feel any pressure now that the Golden Glue's back, Piglet's down in the bottom lane?
No, I don't really feel much pressure. I think it was fun playing against. It's always fun playing against them both. So, I mean, maybe they'll swap it up. You never know.
You just had such a crazy game, and you're so relaxed, dude. Froggen, thank you so much for the interview. Congratulations, and best of luck tomorrow. We're going to throw it over to the analyst desk to break down the rest of that game.
Thank you, Riv. Echo Fox off to a great start here in their season. 2-0 victory over FlyQuest to start the weekend off right. But strangely enough, looking at this champion select, it's not necessarily a team comp that you would say fits Echo Fox's play style, at least as we've seen it in the past. Building around AD carries, and Keith is not someone that you would normally say, hey, let's put all of our, resources behind him.
Yeah, you look at game 1, it was kind of the Froggen and Acadian shows. They're picking up a lot of the kills. This time with Acadian on Ivern, they take the Karma early on. You're like, okay, so they're building a protect the AD carry comp. What AD carry they're going to go? You see the Ashe again for Keith, and that does not scream, that's what that comp wants to do.
Exactly.
FlyQuest, to me, makes a little bit of a mistake going for the cast and then blind. They don't think that Froggen has a counter pick that he's going to play into it. Turns out he does have a Lucian counter pick, which also rounds out the comp perfectly. So great draft out of Echo Fox here. The one mistake, of course, is the Galio blind without a Fiora ban. There's a reason you see the Fiora ban all the time when someone's looking for a Galio, and this is why, because they almost lost this game just completely off the back of that small mistake in the draft.
Absolutely, and so we kind of set ourselves up in a position where FlyQuest obviously going to be looking to spread the map out, keep that Fiora in a side lane, possibly even 1-3-1 with the cast in the side lane. But they're not given that opportunity because Froggen builds such a huge advantage in the mid lane. alone. I mean, CSD at 10 was astronomical, and it's not necessarily the fault of High, it's the fault of the pick.
Right, and that's the other thing with the Ivern, you're able to get red buff on your mid laner. Lucian can also use blue buff. You're dealing with this double buff lane bully all the time as a casting
That's
getting
disgusting.
shoved in.
50 plus at 15 minutes. Right
how do you deal with that? And to be fair, I don't think Echo Fox exploited it as hard as they even could have. They didn't take the mid lane turret till 18 minutes in. Whenever you have a ranged AD carry and an Ivern, just go with the Ivern in that lane if you have pressure and set up camp in front of their turret and just take it and dare them to do something about it.
Especially if you're using red buffs, as you mentioned, onto it. Like the amount of extra damage that you're putting on the turret at that point is astronomical. Now, we will look at a couple plays that Echo Fox was able to craft, and the first one I want to look at is it's got some good, it's got some bad, right? The turret dive here in the bot lane on Echo Fox, and hey, look, I love the fact that they're going for the aggressive play to make it work and extend the advantages. However, the execution is a little off.
Yeah, they teleport onto Daisy, which stops the potential knockup coming onto Keith. The jungler's already there with the teleports matching, so the fact that the dive on the AD carry wasn't clean gets enough time for the rest of the members of FlyQuest to collapse there, ends up not going their way, and this is when you start getting a little scared because the Fiora Galio counterpick starts coming online.
Oh, you saw it.
It starts taking turrets, just tanking it in front of the Galio. He can do nothing about it.
Absolutely. We saw at one point Balls having no trouble with the 1v1 in the side lane and even pressuring the inhib. It just seemed that, FlyQuest didn't give themselves enough time to either let that play develop or they were face-checking in Echo Fox that was controlling Baron Vision quite well.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing is that Echo Fox as a team last season, I think where you say they would struggle would be with their mid-game control and in terms of being able to do things other than, oh, Acadian and Froggen are super strong. This time around, they're actually able to get a lot of good vision control and start opening up FlyQuest 4-man core, which is mostly looking to hang on. Here, after forcing out the teleport in a previous play, they're able to find Balls grouped up with the team, as well as Elimination trying to get Baron Vision, and they're able to start getting picked off here. And this is exactly what you want to see as a Echo Fox fan who is concerned about, well, what are we going to really change from last season, given the fact that there was no roster swap here, and the fact that they're just improving their mid-game is perfect.
They were down gold too when this is happening.
Right.
It's only a couple of thousand, but I think this is huge, where we've always criticized this team as being the one that's going to drag it to 70 minutes and 6 items and never force a play. Even in the deficit here against the 1-3-1 or 4-1 split, they're the ones controlling the vision. They're the ones forcing FlyQuest to actually have to make moves and respond to them around the map.
And that's huge, because if they sit there and wait, sometimes with the double AD carry comp and the shields, you're like, oh, we'll outscale. But this is a game where maybe your team fight outscales, but you do not actually outscale in terms of how the game will play out. You will have to keep sending people to deal with that Fiora, otherwise the game will fail for you, and actually just being able to force FlyQuest to face check them at Baron controls that Fiora pick.
Player of the game going to Froggen on that Lucian, primarily for the lead that he built. Again, as you mentioned, having the double ADCs along with the plenty of shields and safety that Galio and Ivern Karma provide, it kind of made for a really well-rounded comp and had multiple options for who would carry. Froggen this time stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where sure you build the comp around him, but he still needs to execute it, dominates the laning phase, gets assistance from his team, letting him kind of run wild in those team fights. You see the Galio protecting him in that last pickoff situation. A lot of stuff to help him, but he still needs to actually make the plays work.
Right, so this actually really excites me for what we might see Echo Fox grow and evolve into throughout the split. On the side of FlyQuest, what's your preliminary assessment of this roster with Wild Turtle in the mix?
It feels like sometimes, like Turtle was able to make a couple plays. You saw him turn around that dive a little bit. In the first game, they were actually winning in bot lane a little bit again, being able to flash in a couple times, and that's what you want to see. He still got picked off in the side lanes, which is sometimes a problem, but it did feel like the whole team didn't work well together, didn't enable Balls to go, split push that entire game. There were times where Turtle, once again, face checked after throwing a blue trinket in mid lane when they're getting Baron. Blue trinket the Baron, and don't check every brush. Just make sure they're not on Baron and let your Fiora go. Don't check every brush the way he was doing there.
Felt a little disjointed, but we'll give him allowances as it is just week 1. However, Echo Fox out to an early lead here on NALCS 2. There's still more League of Legends coming your way. Up next, Team Dignitas hits the Rift against Envy. Don't go anywhere.
Looking for a pick here. There's the
Moon walks
Galio.
a little bit too close. Turtle and High hanging around nearby, but Moon is still going to be taken down. Now the taunts come out. High is trying to escape. Turtle will not. The damage from Keith will find the kill. High is on the run, but this is a resounding Echo Fox victory.